Hello guys, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this new video with a new topic, that is dividend policies. Today we'll be studying about dividend policies and its models. First of all, let's see what is the meaning of dividend policy. Dividend policy is a policy of management or a company with regard to distributing the profits as dividends or retaining them as retained earnings. It is nothing but a decision of the management where certain portion will be distributed as dividend and the remaining will be retained as retained earnings. For example, if the company is earning a profit of rupees 100, that means what is the percentage or portion will be distributed as dividend and what is the portion that will be remained or retained by the organization. There are three important dividend models that are widely used by most of the business organizations all around the world. They are Walter's relevant approach, Gordon's relevant approach, and hypothesis. We'll be discussing in detail about all these three approaches. First, let's look into what is Walter's relevant approach. Professor James E. Walter was the person who introduced Walter's relevant approach. According to Professor Walter, he says that dividend policy always affects the value of the firms. That is, if the company is paying more dividend, that means its value is always very good in the market. That it has a very good reputation in the market. According to Professor Walter, there are three types of firms. One is growth firms where R is greater than K, declining firms where R is lower than K, and normal firms where R is equal to K. What does this R and K mean? R means return on investment and K means cost of capital. In growth firms, the optimum payout ratio is 0%. That is, the dividend payout optimum ratio is 0%. You have to concentrate on this one because it is required in calculating the problems. In declining firms, the optimum payout ratio is 100%. In normal firms, there is no optimum payout ratio. Anything can be, or whatever the percentage is always optimum. The formula for the calculation of market price of equity under Walter model is as below, that is P is equal to D plus R into E minus D divided by K in the entire thing divided by K, where P is market price of equity, R it is rate of return, K it is cost of capital, E it is earning per share, D it is dividend per share. Sometimes in the problem dividend per share will be given directly. If in case it is not given directly, you have to use the formula dividend per share is equal to face value into percentage of dividend, or dividend per share is equal to EPS, that is earning per share, into percentage of payout. Now let's discuss Walter's model with the help of this illustration. We have three types of firms, that is growth firm, normal firm, declining firm, which we discussed earlier. You have to calculate the market price of the shares of the firm if the payout ratio is 25%, 50% and 75% using Walter's model. We'll proceed with the calculation part. Let's start with the calculation part, guys. EPS and cost of capital is same in all the three cases. E is 4 and K it is 15% or 0.15. Only the rate of return is different. It is 20%, 15% and 10%. 20% for a growth firm, 15 for a normal and 10 for a declining firm. I've converted it into a decimal point. It is 0.2, 0.15 and 0.1. A dividend per share is not given in this problem, hence you have to calculate dividend per share using the formula and the relevant information that is given in the question. Okay, so E is given. E is nothing but earnings per share. When earnings per share, percentage of payout will be given, so you have to calculate dividend on that basis. So EPS into percentage of payout. Well, the percentage of payout is 25%, so you get 1. When it is 50%, you get 2. When it is 75%, you get 3. Step 2 is the calculation of market value per share. So I have made 4 columns over here. The first column, it is firm type and formula. Under firm type, you have growth firm, normal firm and declining firm. Next it is the 3 columns where 3 different dividend payout ratio is applicable. The first it is 25%, the second one it is 50% and third one it is 75%. Now let's start with the payout ratio is 25%. Okay, so the formula is P is equal to D plus R into E minus D divided by K, the entire thing divided by K. So let's substitute using the information that is already given here. Okay, so when 25% is the payout ratio, the dividend will be 1. So I have put it as 1 plus 0.2, that is your rate of return, into 4, it is your earnings per share, minus 1, it is again your dividend per share, divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15. So we'll move to the further calculation over here. 1 plus 0.2 into 3 divided by 0.15. Where did we get this 3, or 3 divided by 0.15? It is nothing but 4 minus 1, we get 3. Well, further move, we get 1 plus 4 divided by 0.15. You might have a question, where did you get this 4? It is nothing but 3 divided by 0.15 into 0.2. If you do this calculation, you get 4. Next, it is 5 divided by 0.15, we get 33.33. We'll start with the normal firm now. For the normal firm, the formula remains the same. Only the change happens with your rate of return. Only the rate of return is different in this case. All other information will remain the same. Okay. So dividend, it is 1 plus 0.15 into 4 minus 1 divided by 0.15. The entire thing divided by 0.15. If you do the same step of calculation, you'll be getting the answer of 26.67. The only change happens over here, it is with the rate of return. Your R value changes. Here it is 0.2, here it is 0.15. That's how the calculation is done for a normal firm. Next, we'll move to a declining firm. For a declining firm, the entire information remains the same. Only change happens with your rate of return. Here the rate of return will be changed to 0.1. So it is 1 plus 0.1 into 4 minus 1 divided by 0.15. The entire thing divided by 0.15, we get 20. That's how the calculation is done when the payout ratio is 25%. We'll start with the calculation when the payout ratio is 50%. When the payout ratio is 50%, the dividend per share is 2. So it is 2 plus 0.2 into 4 minus 2 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15. If you do this calculation, you get 31.11. That's how the calculation is done when the payout ratio is 50% for a growth firm. We'll do the calculation for a normal firm when the payout ratio is 50%. Over here, the entire thing remains the same over here. The only the change happens is with your rate of return, that is 2 plus 0.15 into 4 minus 2 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15. If you look into this and this, if you compare these two, that is your growth firm and your normal firm, the only change has happened over here, that is your rate of return, or your R value is changed. You get 26.67. Next, for a declining firm, the only change happens over here with your rate of return. The rest entire, it remains the same. It will be 2 plus 0.1, 4 minus 2 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15. So you get 22.22. That's how the calculation is done when the payout ratio is 50%. Only if you do this calculation, this part, next it is only the substitution part where you have to change your R value in both the cases for a normal firm and declining firm. We are into the last part where the calculation is done when the payout ratio is 75%. When the payout ratio is 75%, your dividend per share is rupees 3. We'll substitute using the formula. The formula remains the same. That is 3 plus 0.2 into 4 minus 3 divided by 0.15. The entire thing divided by 0.15. If you enter this information and calculate it, you get 28.89. For a normal firm, when the payout ratio is 75%, the calculation is as follows. 3 plus 0.15, 4 into 4 minus 3 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15, we get 26.67. That is how the calculation is done for a normal firm. For a declining firm, it is 3 plus 0.1 into 4 minus 3 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15, we get 24.44 rupees. That's how the calculation is done for all the cases under Walters model. We will have a quick recap now. EPS and cost of capital remains the same. We have taken from the question. A rate of return is different for all the three cases. For normal, it is For growth it is 20%, for normal it is 15, and for declining firm it is 10%. We have converted into decimal points. Next it is dividend per share calculation. We have done the calculation for dividend per share. Next we'll just look into how the calculation is done over here. The formula is, you know what is the formula is. Next we'll just substitute using the formula. We have to be careful which dividend per share amount is taken. Do not take, here it is 50%, you have to take 2 instead of 2. If you take 1, your entire problem goes wrong. Okay, so it is 1 plus 0.2 into 4 minus 1 divided by 0.15, the entire thing divided by 0.15. You get 1 plus 0.2 into 3 divided by 0.15 divided by 0.15. So if you continue the calculation, it is 1 plus 4 divided by 0.15. You get 5 divided by 0.15. That is, you get the value of 33.33. I hope that you guys have understood the concept of Walter's relevant model in the previous problem that we have discussed. We have one more problem. If you have any doubts, you can clarify over here. It's a little bit of different kind of problem where earnings of the company is given, dividend payout ratio is 60%, number of shares issued it is 1 lakh, equity capitalization rate it is 12%. This is nothing but the cost of capital. Next, rate of return it is 15%. So you have to find out what would be the market value per share under Walter's model. You have to find out the market price. And there is one more question for you guys. What is the optimum payout ratio according to Walter's model? And what is the market value of company share at that payout ratio? You have to find the answers for these two questions. Okay, so we'll move on to the solution part. In this problem, earnings per share is not given, dividend per share is not given. So first thing, you have to calculate the earnings per share. To calculate earnings per share, the formula it is E is equal to earnings of the company divided by number of shares issued. So 5 lakh is given in the question, that is earnings of the company, divided by 1 lakh, you get 5. So rupees 5 is earnings per share. Next we'll calculate dividend per share using the information, that is earnings per share into dividend payout ratio. It will be 5 into 60%, we get rupees 3. So we'll just fill the information which we have to. P is market price that is supposed to be calculated. R it is the rate of return 15% or 0.15. K is cost of capital, it is 0.12. Earnings per share it is 5. D dividend it is 3. This information is calculated and this is taken from the question. Let's look into the formula. The formula will be P is equal to D plus R into E minus D divided by K, the entire thing divided by K. Let's substitute the information into the formula. So D it is, we have calculated as 3 plus 0.15, that is nothing but your R value, into 5, that is your E value, 5 minus 3 divided by 0.12, the entire thing divided by 0.12. So if you further do the calculation, it will be 3 plus 0.15 into 2 divided by 0.12. I'll do the calculation further. 3 plus 0.15 into 16.66. How did you get this 16.66? It is nothing but 2 divided by 0.12. You get 16.66. If you multiply this 16.66 into 0.15, you get this 2.5. So it will be 5 plus, that is 3 plus 2.5. 3 plus 2.5, you get 5.5 divided by 0.12, you get 45.83. That's the end of first part of the question, that is market value of the share as per Walter's model. Next you have to find out the optimum payout ratio and the market value and the optimum payout ratio. To find out the optimum payout ratio, you have to see whether the company is a growth firm or a declining firm or a normal firm. When R is greater than K, it is considered as a growth firm. So here R it is 15% and your K it is 12%. That means it is a growth firm. Hence, as per Walter's model, the optimum payout ratio will be 0%. At 0 payout ratio, the market price will be, you'll be using the formula. The only thing is I have just substituted the information. The entire thing remains the same. Only the thing is the changes will happen in your D. Your D will be considered as 0. The formula remains the same, D plus R into E minus D divided by K. the entire thing divided by k. So I'm just substituting the information. So here 0 instead of 3, here it is 3, here I'm using it as 0 plus 0.15 into 5 minus 0 divided by 0.12, the entire thing divided by 0.12. Okay, so next if we move into further calculation, it will be 0 plus 0.15 into 5 divided by 0.12, the entire thing divided by 0.12. So further it will be, if you divide these two, that is 5 divided by 0.12, you get 33.33. If you multiply these two, 33.33 into 0.15, you get 6.25. If you add 6.25 plus a 0, you always get 6.25. The entire thing divided by 0.12, you get 52.08. That's how a Walters model is done. Kindly concentrate on this. For a growth firm, always your payout ratio will be 0, and if in case it is a declining firm, your payout ratio will be entirely opposite. You will be taking it as 100%. Okay, how to identify a declining firm? Your R should be greater than, lesser than K. So for example, if it was R was 12% and K was 15%, that means it's a declining firm. Here it is R, it is 15% and K it is 12%, hence it is a growth firm. Thank you guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have understood the concept of Walters model in this video. Please put your comments and feedbacks to me. Thank you.